We live? Good. What's up, everyone? I tried doing this a second ago and it seemed to crash, so we'll see if it does a survival this time. Look, so we've had a couple of incidents in the news in the last 24 hours. White Islands, the volcano in New Zealand, erupted. I think there's been 7 confirmed killed by that big eruption. And over here in the Czech Republic, a man walked into a hospital and just started shooting people. I think he killed 6 people and then committed suicide later. And this is very significant for all of us, and I want to talk about why. The main reason is New Zealand and Czech Republic are rated 2 of the most safest countries on the planet to live in. I think New Zealand is number 2, and I believe Czech Republic is number 4, depending on what list you look at. They're definitely both in the top 10, no matter who's doing the assessment. And yet, last year, I think it was last year, we had the terrorist attack in Christchurch in New Zealand. The guy went around shooting at all the mosques and everything. The thing that's become really clear to me is that those assessments of being the safest country in the world and so on don't make a difference to the people who were killed in the eruption, or the people who were shot at the hospital, or the people who were shot by the terrorist and their families. Those statistics are meaningless. Because there's a lesson for us all here. There is no such thing as safety. Not really. It doesn't matter how well you stack the odds in your favor. If you're the unlucky one, those odds don't matter at all. Essentially, the day you were born, you were already thrown into a conflict with death and with suffering. From the minute you came out of the womb, it was you versus the universe. Now, the universe is going to win that battle eventually. And you don't even get to choose whether or not you're in the fight. You're born into it. There's no place you can escape from it. You could go live in a bunker somewhere and still choke to death on a sandwich. Now, why do I bring up such a morbid idea? Because what I see so often in my work as a coach is people desperately trying to create a safe and secure life. They try to create financial security, they try to create physical security, they try to create social security, mental security, everything. They're constantly trying to create a system that is safe for them. A safe circle of friends, a safe partner who will never leave, a safe job that they won't lose, a safe investment that will make them money, a safe eating plan that will keep them fit and healthy. And yet every day we're surrounded by examples of basically no matter how safe you play it and no matter how much the odds are stacked in your favor, it can still go against you. And we can also see the opposite. There are people living in war-torn, sick countries and they survive till old age. There's no guarantees either way. There's a huge amount of luck in life. Fate, as the Stoics would say. And so fighting for a safe life, what I see people do is they will sacrifice what they really want and what they're really passionate about and what they're really interested in for safety. Because there's this balance you have to make. Safety and freedom. You can't have both. Not to a high level. You can have both 50-50, but whichever one gives more weight takes away from the other one. So the safer you are, the less free you are. The less free you are to make decisions, the less free you are to enjoy a range of options, the less free you are to change and improve. The more safe you are, the less free you are. And it's vice versa. The more free you are, the less safe you are. You're compounding the risk. Except the problem is you can be exponentially free, but you'll never be exponentially safe. No matter how safe you play it, you can still die. Yet no matter how free you are, you're always free. The point I'm trying to make is right now, if you have anything going on in your life that is based on a safety principle, like you're only staying at your job because you think it's a safe income, or you're only with your partner, not because you genuinely love them, but because, they're never going to leave you kind of thing, or, they're a good match, or You've got a circle of friends, and maybe they're not the best fit for you, but you feel like I've had these friends since high school, they're never going away. I'm kind of like, I'll stay with them just because it's easy and it's definitely safer than the confrontation of meeting new people. Or you just got routines and patterns. You won't leave your hometown, you won't travel alone. All these things you do under the guise of safety. You don't even maybe use the word safety. You might use the word security, like financial security or confidence. What am I trying to say here? Safety is an illusion. That's what I'm trying to say. You've never been safe, ever in your entire life. Have you had a second of guaranteed safety? You could be all tucked up nice and warm in your duvet in your room and still have an earthquake destroy your house, or still have a guy break in. I was watching a program the other day, horrible story. This guy was on the phone to his wife. She said, "Oh, there's somebody outside. He's being a bit weird." And then while the husband was still on the phone, this guy broke into the house and stabbed his wife to death. And he could hear the whole thing over the phone. He lived in a pretty wealthy area of London, from what I established. There are elements, forces, darknesses out there in the universe that are trying to kill you. One day they're going to, but they've been coming at you your whole life. You've been lucky most of the time to avoid them. Think of all the times you almost had a car crash, and all the almost times you almost got hit by a car just crossing the road. All the times you don't notice where you ate something and you choked a little bit but then managed to get down. You didn't choke to death. All the times you injured yourself but you didn't break your neck. There are a lot of times where you don't even remember them, but you were just lucky. You weren't safe, you were just lucky. And you'll see around you when you look around, there's plenty of people who weren't. Plenty of people who didn't have the luck in a similar situation, and they got severely injured or bankrupted or heartbroken or killed. The point I'm trying to make here is there was a time at one stage in my life where I realized there are no guarantees. There's no such thing as a guaranteed paycheck. Money can always be taken away. There's no such thing as guaranteed love or a relationship, because people can always die on you. There's no such thing as guaranteed health. Even the healthiest people in the world can be struck down by cancer overnight and so on. So to try and live a life that's guaranteed safety is delusional and a waste of time. What I realized when I looked at this is that I had made a lot of decisions that were based on trying to keep myself feeling safe. And in doing so, I'd sacrificed things that would actually make me feel really alive. Like I played it safe with my social circle rather than trying to meet new people. It felt safe, but ultimately all those friends ended up parting ways with me. Well, most of them did, because they didn't like me after I changed. So they were never really a secure friendship. I found out I have high cholesterol, so the idea that I can keep myself healthy is out of my hands. I have a genetic predisposition towards heart disease. No matter how healthy I am, I'm probably going to die of a heart attack when I'm older. So if you've ever lost money or had an injury or had someone unexpectedly betray you, you understand that nothing's guaranteed. So stop planning your life around safety. Start doing what you want to do, even though it's scary and requires confrontations and risk-taking and so on, because you're already taking risks whether you want to or not. At least choose the risks you're taking. At least get on top of this thing. Get ahead of that risk. Decide what potential mistakes and pain can come into your life rather than sitting back and waiting for them, because they're going to come either way. You might be at the hospital that gets shot up next time. You might be next to the next volcano that erupts. You might be hit by a car. You never know. Just because it hasn't happened to you yet. I mean, until someone dies, death hasn't happened to them yet. But it's going to. Please, do more with your lives. If you're sitting there being safe, you're going to regret it, and it doesn't keep you safe anyway. There's no win with that strategy. You can be carefully strategic in your risk-taking, but take those risks nonetheless. I hope you learn from the people on White Island. I hope you learn from the poor souls at the hospital. There's no place to hide from death and from the tragedies of life. There's no country that's safe. There's no place in the world that protects you. You got to get out ahead of this thing and live a great life, because it's coming to get you whether you want it to or not. At least make sure that when it comes to get you, you did all that you could.